Is this thing on? Hey, it is. Okay, I'll stop now. I'm really not that weird. Just it's funny because when I'm doing these, I look at this little light on my computer and I got to figure out if it's on or off, and it's on. So I think I'm rolling here. I'm recording. Cool. Awesome. So, yeah. Hello, fellow cartoonist. Today, I thought I would talk to you about what type of cartooning should you get into. Now, this is really when I thought of this subject, I thought, oh, that's kind of a dumb subject because you probably know what kind of cartooning you want to get into. But I say this as like, what kind of cartooning do you want to get into? Not just for the fun of it, because I think there's two different things. There's the fun cartooning, like this is what I want to do, hey, and then there's like, what's going to make me some money? What is there out there that's actually profitable and like that makes sense? So I say this as this. I thought of this subject because I've seen some comics out there that have been going on for decades, maybe not decades, at least a decade. Put it that way. Like about the rise of the web comics. We'll say that. Like I've noticed them out there for at least 10 years or more. And they're really just out there. They're series of comics, like someone creates a series that they like and they just keep putting it out there. But I've noticed like it seems like the audience doesn't change. There's really nothing else going with it. There's no momentum with it. There's no new books. Their social media profiles don't grow. They're just kind of like there. And so long story short, they're really not a hit. And when I say hit, I mean like getting a lot of readers or really doing anything. And it's like, so that those type of comics, I look at them and like, what's their end game? Are they wanting to be a cartoonist and make money off of it, or are they just doing these comics for fun? And the answer is, I don't know. Maybe they are doing them for fun, and that's totally fine. It's a personal comic, and they just want to keep doing it, and they don't worry about the fan base or anything. So I have had a lot of flops in my career. I have come up with numerous comic strips that I've pitched to syndicates that just don't make the cut. A few of them I've put out there. You may have even seen some of them. I had a comic strip called Technically Speaking that was about technology that came to life. And it was a comic strip. I really thought it was going to be like huge, a massive hit. In fact, when I launched it, I wrote to a few media companies and like people that write about comic strips, and everybody ignored it. When I put it out there, then it just didn't get any readers. Nothing. Like I had a few. And so, after about a month or so, I looked at it and I just scrapped it. I'm like, I just don't think this is going to go anywhere. So it's like, it's one of those questions of, okay, well, it didn't really go anywhere in a month, but you keep doing it and, maybe over time it will grow, because it is true. Some things take time to grow. And who am I to think like it wouldn't have been a success? It was just, it's one of those things where, I looked at it and I was like, I just didn't see any long-term potential with it. Like long-term potential for me with that strip was it's going to be relatable to people. I'll eventually build a really big audience with it. I can sell books with it, and grow it into something that is actually, part of my living, because it costs money to live. And as a cartoonist, you want to create a cool product, but you also want to earn income off it. At least that's my perspective with that. It wasn't just for fun. It wasn't just a hobby. It was something I wanted to really grow into a profitable syndicated comic, or if not syndicated, have a big fan base. And so I saw off the bat, it just wasn't going to do anything. If I felt that internally. So with you, if you have a comic out there and it's not really growing, it's not doing anything, and you've been doing it for a while, I would suggest, if you wanted to explore other avenues that may work better, do it. Find a niche, whatever you want to call it, that you want to explore. Maybe it's cat cartoons, maybe it's doing something related to working or business or something like that. You can go that avenue, and then see what happens there when you start kind of focusing in on a specific subject matter, and then sending those out to to people or websites with that specific subject matter, you may, get some momentum going and might have a successful comic with that. Or, explore doing custom cartoons for clients if it's something that you feel you could do. And that's for an income-based thing. Now, if you're doing something solely for the fun of it and you don't care if you get only one reader a year, there's nothing wrong with that either. I totally don't see anything wrong with that, and there's not. I'm not one to tell you there's going to be it's right or wrong. It's not. I'm not the cartooning god. But no, I think it's totally fine, and that might be fulfilling for you just to come up with a personal cartoon that you may not even put out there online or anything. So hey, I would say all the power to you. Go for it. But if you're trying to develop something that works, that gets an audience going, that grows, and when I say works, basically people latch onto. Try a few things out, see what does hit. My syndicated series Break of Day, I always found kind of funny. It's never, it's not the Far Side readership. It's never exploded onto this, with readers. Like it's always grown. It's growing to this day, in terms of readers. Like I have subscribers on GoComics.com. That's my syndicate's website. It is a syndicated series on there, so I have a growing subscription rate on there for the feature, and the social media profiles of it keep growing. But it's never like exploded, into anything massive. And part of me thinks like it's a Break of Day. If you don't know, it's a gag cartoon panel that I do, and I've never had just one subject. It's always very random. I cover everything from anything you can think of, and it's got like bad puns in it, not just bad, like awful puns in it. It has, sometimes I feature animals, sometimes humans, sometimes I feature business. So it's got this real random activity going on all the time with it. And I think that's why like it's never just hit like a specific market and has blown up. I love doing Break of Day. It's been syndicated since 2011. So for me, it's kind of an interesting thing. It's a personal, very personal for me. I love it. I like doing gag cartoons, and I just like the randomness of it. I really do. But for readers' standpoints, they never know what they're going to get. So I have a variety pack of different people that love certain ones, and then other ones they cringe at. Some people like them all, I think, maybe. But it works for me. So that's the type of cartooning I do. I do very random comics, and I like that with clients I pick up too. I like having random clients doing different things in different areas. It's to kind of, I like that variety. I think it's because my attention span is so short. For me, doing a strip was pretty tedious. I just I don't have that attention span to go panel to panel. I can, and not to say I'll never do a strip again or anything. I'd actually like to do a graphic novel at some point, which is going to be tough on me mentally, but I think I can do it. I just got to have that mindset. But that's, for me, panels are what I enjoy, and it's worked. So if you are working on something that you want to get a big audience with or anything, maybe it is panels. Maybe it's doing kind of the similar thing I'm doing, or maybe it's something else. But what I'm getting at in the long run is excuse me, I'm hitting my microphone here. I've tried a few things that I've felt in my gut, and after trying it for a while, just don't work. I've stuck with a cartoon series for over a year, several times, and it didn't feel like it worked for me. I've had collaborations that have worked rather well, and then just over time, though, it just hasn't grown into what we wanted it to go, and so you kind of scrap it. You look at it kind of like a TV series, at least I do, on television. You'll put out a sitcom on television. These television producers and channels do that, and they get viewers tuning in, and it's a hit, or they don't, and after a while, that gets canceled. I think like with comics, if you're trying to get like a successful series, and I say success is going to be different for everybody, but if you have a series out there that's not getting the readers that you want, and if that's what you want is readers, I would try different avenues. I would either scrap it, or I would try definitely tweaking it, relaunching, just do something and try many things out that do work or they don't. You'll have to, throughout my life, again, I've done so many different projects that have not worked, that have been an extreme failure, really, that just nobody would read and just didn't catch on, So I would suggest trying a few things out, and that's when you find your groove, hey, stick with it. And that might be a variety of things. Maybe not just be one series. Maybe you have a few out there. Maybe you have a personal project you love doing, but you have another one that is building a fan base that you want to keep up, and you keep growing and growing and growing that. But I don't think there's any like restrictions or a timeline on when to scrap something. I'm not going to tell you to do, if you keep doing the same comic after 20 years and you've only had a couple readers, and maybe that's fine with you. That's totally cool. It doesn't mean it's a shitty comic or anything. It just means that's what you want to do. So nothing wrong with that, but I would go with your gut. If you're working on something, it's not building a readership, and if in your gut you're not seeing any changes coming about, and if you've tried like different social media channels, you've tried pitching it, you've tried everything you feel that you can do to get it out there, and it's still just not catching on, and you're not happy with it, then don't feel bad about scrapping it. Some people get so attached to their comics and their work, they're like their babies, and that's good. That's a good thing. But sometimes you have to, I'm not going to say kill your babies. That sounds really bad, but kill your, whatever, your idea, and just start fresh. Sometimes that helps immensely. And there's nothing wrong with that. Don't feel like a failure for it. My gosh, if anything, it's you succeeding, because you know when to say, all right, enough's enough. Time to move on. Time to start fresh. So I this is a little random. I hope this has maybe helped a little bit with some thought starters on, like, if you're feeling discouraged because your comic's not getting a lot of readers, I wouldn't feel discouraged about it. Maybe it's just not right, or something's off with it. Possibly, maybe it's the writing, maybe it's the art. Something's just not clicking with people. Just take a look at it, and try other avenues. Try to showcase it in different places. Try different things. See what happens. Maybe it's just not in the right market. Again, if you have like a niche, I love that word. With something like, again, if it's like cats, put it in a cat forum or something and see what happens there. And you might be surprised. Maybe you're just showcasing it to the wrong people, and that's why no one's reading it. Maybe you have to get it into different areas. Or again, look at it and be like, maybe it's time to try something new. Nothing wrong with that. I think either way you go, as long as you're fulfilled and you're happy with what you're doing and you're moving, you have goals that you want to hit with something, try to hit them any way possible. Maybe it's starting fresh. Maybe it's clients or whatever it may be. Everyone's journey is different. I say it all the time. Everyone's going to have different paths, different directions, things they like to do. And that's what makes this industry of cartooning so awesome. There's so many things out there. My gosh. So don't limit yourself. Go for it. Do what you want to do, and maybe tweak a few things. Try different avenues. Nothing wrong with trying a lot of things out and seeing what sticks for you personally and for an audience if that's what you're after. So, hey, guys, I hope you enjoyed this. As always, hit the subscribe button below if you want to take part of my free 3-part course on cartooning. You may get some more material out of that will help you out along your journey. And definitely hang out with me next time, and leave some comments below, too. Love to hear your thoughts and kind of what you're doing. What kind of cartooning are you into, and is it working, or is there something you want to tweak, or like, what are your thoughts with what you have going on right now? Love to hear from you. So, all right, I'm going to let you go. I promise I won't be weird at the end of this video like it was at the beginning. Well, I don't know. I feel some weirdness coming on. No, I'm not going to. I would not do that to you. All right, guys. We'll talk to you later.